Hey, Kurt Curtis coming at you from the Full Octane Garage. Glad you could be with us today. What we're going to do today is we're going to be working on a project that we started way back in 2012, completed it, and now we've got to do a little freshening up. That's our 1960 project Pink Floyd Corvette that we restored into 2012. And as part of that restoration, we came across a reproduction steering wheel for the car because the original one was in quite bad shape. And it looked great when we put it in. The steering wheel was actually red when we installed it, and over the past few years it's gotten some sun damage and now it's pink, and pink is just not going to cut it on a nice red Corvette. So what we did is we came across an original steering wheel. The only problem with the original steering wheel is it had some cracks in each one of the seams where the forks of the wheel go. So we ended up figuring we were going to do a restoration on the steering wheel, and the best way to do this was we came across this product called Quick Steel. And Quick Steel is a two-part epoxy that sets up in about 5 minutes and is totally set in 60 minutes. So we do equal parts of the Quick Steel. We went through, we filled in all of the cracks, and then we took some high build epoxy primer and we shot the whole steering wheel in a high build primer, and then we sanded it back down. Before we primed it, we did scuff it down with 320 sandpaper so that it would give something for the primer to meet onto. We primed it, then we sanded it with some 400 sandpaper, made sure that all of the cracks were hidden well. And the next step in this process is to start unwrapping our steering wheel. What we're going to do is we're going to take a fresh razor blade and we're going to cut each seam where this tape meets the paint so that we don't peel any of the fresh paint back. This was painted yesterday. It is all dry. It's actually an acrylic enamel. What we were fortunate, we were painting a 1950 Chevrolet truck the same color over in our paint booth, and while we were doing that, I took advantage of a little bit of extra paint and we painted the wheel so that we could get this yucky pink thing gone. So what we're going to do is we're going to unwrap the wheel, then we're going to come back and switch the wheels out. Okay, we're back. We've unwrapped the steering wheel. Everything turned out great. We didn't peel any paint back, so it looks fantastic. So now the next task is to remove the old steering wheel. How we're going to go about doing that is this particular steering wheel is on with sometimes these are riveted on. If they're riveted on, it's a whole different ball game. But fortunately, when we put the aftermarket wheel on, we utilized a steering column bell that takes an Allen head screw. So we're just going to remove a few Allen head screws, take the wheel off, put the new one on, and we're going to be back in business. Now, the one thing to make sure of is that you disconnect your battery. Otherwise, you're going to be blowing your horn a lot. Ask us how we know. All right, here we go. The horn button will just pop right off. There's no damage to it or anything if it pulls off. And we just got a few of these Allen head screws to undo. And do remember where your steering wheel is positioned. Try to keep it straight so that you can get your new wheel back in a similar position. Now I am hoping when we remove this steering wheel that we don't remove any of, hopefully it doesn't stick to the paint on the adapter. Something we also did find out is that the material in this new reproduction steering wheel is a bit more flimsy than the standard wheel. The wheel's starting to come loose, so the good news is I don't believe we're going to stick any paint to it. We are off. So just to show you a little bit of difference in how the new one looks versus the old one, this pink one definitely is looking weathered. They're about the same diameter. They are the same diameter. They're about the same thickness. But this new one going back on is going to be a whole lot better. You want to kind of look at it and see which direction is going to look the best in an upward position. See if there's any imperfections in the steering wheel that might inhibit your driving position. After I've looked a little bit at it, I believe that we'll go on this way. Wow, what a difference. These screws are beveled, so once you get a couple screws in, the rest of them will go in quite easy. We're going to get these screws just kind of hand snugged in, and then we're going to go back and tighten them up in a cross pattern. Go across from each other and then kind of go on diagonal. And clean your horn button up a little bit, and it's ready to go back on. And that looks fantastic. That's so much better than that pink wheel. Steering wheel restoration is not that challenging. People look at it and they think, oh my gosh, there's cracks in the wheel, it's going to be horrible. Can I paint it? Can't I paint it? As long as you do the proper preparation, fill the cracks in with, you can use epoxy resin. There's some fiberglass products that work well. There's two-part epoxies that work well. This is our first shot at using this quick steel product, so we're going to see how it holds up over time. But you know, at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, all we have to do is sand it back down and start all over again. So don't be scared away from restoring your own steering wheels. It's not that hard. And if you have any questions, leave us a comment, leave us a note. We're happy to give you some feedback. Y'all have a great day, and thanks for watching.